Okay, welcome to today's call. We're very excited to have it. We had a great announcement this morning that I'm going to share with you. So today we're going to be going over some numbers. We're going to be talking about potential earnings. We're going to talk about some of the new programs. As always, when we discuss compensation, when we discuss potential, with any numbers, we always have to say that this is for educational purposes and no guarantees. And that, so please read the disclosure statement and let's go ahead and get started. So today we actually are going to follow up on what we've announced in the last 2 days is some new programs with tax prep advocates. We've done really good with tax prep advocates since we started being able to be a resource for people with COVID stimulus programs that can help them get access to monies that they deserve and need. And one of the things that happened with COVID is the government had to make a decision of how they were going to keep businesses in business and how they were going to be able to, not let the economy fail. And the only way that was going to happen is if they gave some COVID relief monies. And so they've done that, and they've now allowed people, to receive checks. So these checks come in the form of COVID stimulus, and we all received them. We received a check from the government when the COVID, pandemic started. And then people started learning about, ERC and how they could receive additional funds from COVID. But very few people learned about what we're going to talk about today, which is the self-employed sick and family leave tax credits. So we're very excited to introduce this program today. Now, it does fall under the CARES Act, and it's a refund employment tax paid, not by the employer. In this case, it's actually paid by the actual government themselves as part of the stimulus program. And so we're familiar with ERC. It's been in the news a lot of, everybody, you can't watch TV today without learning about the ERC. And it's been sort of a Me Too business. You've seen lots of businesses pop up and get into business of offering ERC because it's so great for the businesses that a lot of people wanted to take advantage of that. However, as a country and as a community, we've done a terrible job of really introducing these services to the general public because most people find about these services from their CPA. And quite frankly, the CPA wasn't educated and didn't know exactly how to process the ERC. So it gave opportunity for other firms to go out there and start up and do that. The firm that we're going to be talking today about, Tax Prep Advocates, our CPA partners have been in the industry for 30 plus years, actually 35. They've been the fourth largest company in the USA that does, tax recovery services. So they're very skilled in offering, tax services. So we've done a tremendous job of offering ERC and, creating referral programs for our reps, marketing systems and tools, tracking systems so that every single person that applied for ERC, that we could give total accountability as to exactly where your file was at, how many documents were submitted, what stage it was at. And a lot of the reps really appreciated that because in the previous, period, the business got so busy. There was just so many people submitting files that the ERC companies couldn't keep up with it. Well, we did a tremendous job of not only keeping up with it, but getting files done very fast, giving people total transparency. So now as we enter into this next phase of business, where we're now going to be offering the sick and, the self-employed sick and family leave program, also being known as the self-employed tax credit. This is an opportunity for us to also shine with that same level of commitment of trackability, that same level of commitment of delivering. So let's go ahead and get into what is the self-employed tax credit? Who is it for? How much is it? What is it? What years is it for? And, how and why do you get it? Well, it's not new. Unfortunately, our CPAs have failed us. They have not educated us. When we filed our 2020 or 2021 tax returns, we should have been able to get this money. But quite frankly, our CPAs didn't tell us. And when they didn't tell us, we were not able to receive it. So it's not too late. You can go back and you can refile. You can amend your taxes for 2020 and 2021. And when you do so, you can now claim this credit that has been available to you and is available now. So 80% of the individuals out there do not know about it, but they absolutely qualify for it. So this is part of the Family First Corona Response Act. And, you have time to get into it. It was signed into law in March of 2018. And, you've got about another year before, if you don't take it, it will be gone. It will be gone because of two reasons. Number one, there is an expiration. And so if you don't file after a certain point, there's just no availability. But there's another thing that could happen. There's a huge amount of people that are going to start learning about this. And as soon as one company learns about it, other companies copy other companies. And we're seeing that already. We're seeing companies copy other companies and say, hey, let me jump into this business too. Well, the reality is the money may run out because COVID put in, the government put away $4.6 trillion for this COVID refund stimulus program. And there's been about 4.3 paid out. So there's, another $300 billion. Sounds like a lot, and it is. But if you have 10, 20,000 people signing up and they're all getting their $32,000, that billion's going to start going. So don't think you have all day. Let's learn about this today. Let's learn about why, if you're self-employed, you're going to want to take advantage of it. Let's learn about why, if you're self-employed, you're probably going to want to tell somebody else about it. And one of the things that we've always done at the Tax Prep Advocates is we've run a business model that we call win-win-win. Number one, it's got to be a win for the client. Number two, it's got to be a win for the rep, and it's also got to be a win for the agency. And so the agency is two things. The agency is our company, as Tax Prep Advocates being the company, but we run our business model, and the reason why we're so able to grow so fast is because we use an exponential model where we actually have agency, partners actually help administer and grow the business. We're not a network marketing company. We're not a franchise. We are actually an agency, and we actually allow our agency partners to refer people and actually have the digital marketing tools to promote these services. No reps that we hire are experts in tax. The experts in tax are the people that do the files, that actually manage the returns, and they are our CPA firms. But we have a huge opportunity for affiliates to sign up as, part of someone's agency partner and to literally share these details. They do it through our technology platform, and it makes it super successful because it guarantees that the client gets the proper information. It guarantees the rep is compensated for sharing that information, and it helps people that are looking to build a business, to build a successful business, providing valuable services to the customer. And in many cases, that customer has been the business owner. Today, it's not only the business owner, it's that self-employed individual, and that self-employed individual who needs these services also. So how do we charge? Let's discuss that. We do not charge our client unless we're able to get our client money back. So if they don't receive any kind of a rebate from the IRS, there is zero fee. It is called a deferred fee, and it is a fee that is only charged if there is funds recovered from the IRS. Now, we're not actually recovering funds. The funds are sitting in a pot that are earmarked for people that qualify. So really what we're doing is we're training, we're helping you identify how you missed out on this this refund, this credit that is due you because you didn't actually claim it. And to claim it, you have to verify that you qualify it, meaning that you were affected by COVID-19. Now, I'm going to be clear. There's not a person on this phone call that wasn't affected by COVID-19. You were forced to stay at home. You were forced to maybe not go to work. You were forced to do all kinds of things that you had to do. I'm not debating it was wrong or right. I'm simply stating the facts that many of us couldn't work. If you were an insurance agent, you couldn't go to people's homes. If you were a hairstylist, you couldn't actually cut hair. So let's go over the money in the process. So if we can show a client that they have a refund due, and let's say that it's $10,000 that they're going to get, once they receive that fund, then they pay Tax Prep Advocates that 20% fee, and we pay out 50% of that fee to our field force. Because we know very well here at Tax Prep Advocates that the way to work with clients is by referral only. We do not advertise. We do not spend money on social media marketing. We're not on the television. We're not doing print advertising. So all of that money that would normally be spent, that usually is going to Mr. Wonderful. It's actually going back to you. And so we pay the highest commissions in the industry. There's no company that pays more. But why do we pay so much? Because we don't spend any money on unnecessary advertising. We actually don't even believe in that kind of advertising. We believe the best type of advertising is word of mouth advertising, which is why you've been invited here today. You've been invited here to participate in part of a pre-launch that we will be introducing this to the world on Monday. And so on Monday, we'll have our websites and we will be going out, but we will only be sharing this through our affiliate network. We do not advertise. So if you see an advertisement for tax prep advocates, be 100% guaranteed that that is not an advertisement from corporate, that is actually a marketing campaign using the digital agency marketing tools that we've enrolled and employed and encouraged our representatives to do. So we want you to reach out to your friends and family and to the people. We want you to reach out on social media, on your social media, because people trust you. They're on your pages. And when they see that Tax Prep Advocates has rolled out something great, they're like, wow, I want to participate in that. And so here's how you would get paid. If somebody saw a post that you put up and it led them to an introduction to our company, and they made an educated, wise decision to employ our firm to help process their COVID refund and tax credit. Well, if they got $30,000 back and you were at 5% commission, you would earn $1,500. Now let's review your responsibilities and let's review ours. Your responsibility is to simply send somebody a link that educates them about the program. There is no other responsibility. We're not asking you to train on it. We're not asking you to explain it. We're not asking you to justify it. We're not asking you to explain why the government has the program. We're not asking you to tell you when it's going to run out. In fact, the only question we want you to answer is when someone asks you a question, is say, that's a good question, and I would encourage you to enroll in the process and get all of your questions asked by the experts. Because isn't that all what we always want? We want the expert advice. So you're getting paid a referral fee for introducing to them a service, and if they qualify for the service, you'll get paid for that service. If they don't qualify for that service and they don't get paid, you won't get paid. So there's no risk. It's really a marketing position. And this marketing position, if you know a few self-employed individuals, like some real estate agents, or maybe you know a few people in the insurance business, or you know a few people that cut hair and they're independent contractors. We all know self-employed people. Every single person on this call, if you went through your phone and you just started going 1, 2, 3, you'd go through about 500 contacts if you're an average person, and you'd probably end up with about 200 people that are actually self-employed. And so guess what? If I can show you how to send a link that educates them, then you could potentially earn a commission for referring that service. If 5 of them participated, you'd make $7,500. So this is not monthly earnings. This is not annual earnings. This is not daily earnings. This could be whatever it is. You could join our company, send out 5 referrals to 5 friends. They could do that transaction, and you could have $7,500 in commission earned in the first day. So there's a lot of money to be paid here. If you decide to take it serious and build a business here, the more volume you do, the higher your rate goes up. You start at 2%, you can go up to 5%. So we have a very healthy program, and it pays you to not refer that program, but any services that we recommend. And some of these services include ERC, as you know, but they also include other business services like cloud computing, so they can protect themselves from data breaches, or employee benefit programs. We're not going to train on those today. We're going to focus on this very important aspect of how do you qualify? How does one of the 80 million people out there who are self-employed take advantage of actually accessing and being qualified for this money? Now, the first thing you need to remember is that this is not a deduction. Okay, this is an actual credit from the U.S. government, and the government wants to give it to you. Why do they want to give it to you? Because they're very fearful of an economic crisis, and that economic crisis comes when people can't work. And when people can't work and they don't earn money, they're not putting money back into the system. So the government came up with a $4.6 trillion COVID relief program, stimulus, largest stimulus in the history of the world, and it will be probably the largest ever. I don't think there'll ever be one bigger. And so whether you believe in it or not, it is there, and it is there for those who want to qualify for it. So it's for people who were affected by COVID. So all you have to do is answer questions. Now, the reason why I've got this $87,000 number right here is because that's the average self-employment income. So they took all the self-employed people in America and they said, okay, some people make $5,000 a year and some people make $5 million a year. And let's figure out the average, and it was 87,000. So if you go to your, if you want to know if you're going to qualify for this, there's two things you need to do. One, you need to go to your scheduled self-employment, tax return that you filed, and you need to look at what your income is. And that number is a number that you're going to submit to our CPA, and he's going to look at that number. And then he's going to take a formula that he has calculated by studying the code, and he's put this formula into a simple model. But it's based upon, how many days were you affected? And so there's questions that the IRS requires you to ask and verify. As long as you read the question, you answer it, then you will qualify. So you got to have two things. You got to have answers to questions that show you were affected, and you've got to have some income. Now, if you only have a few $1,000s of income, probably logic would say you'd probably only get a few thousand. Is it possible for you to get more back than you actually earn? The answer is it's possible. But the true answer is, let's find out. The cost to sign up for this and to find out what you're owed is zero. It's a contingent deferred fee. So if you don't collect anything, so everybody on this call today should sign up at the end of this call, and you should go through the process of reading the questions, and you should submit your income. If you don't qualify, you don't get anything back. But here's what you did get. You got an education on how this program works. And now you can go with confidence and integrity to anybody you know and say, hey, I'm working with the firm, Tax Prep Advocates, that will file and actually calculate exactly how much you're going to get back. So it's really awesome, and it's a great opportunity. And so, you've got this weekend until Monday before we launch. So anybody who's a Tax Prep Advocate can actually sign up for this, go through this process, and we will pay you commission on your own file. So if you file and you do this and you get $32,000 back, bonus, you get the $32,000. But you also get the commission that was, paid to the referral agent because you were the referral agent. You referred yourself. And if you can't follow all that, don't worry about it. We'll explain it at the end. Let's focus on the questions. So it says, what dates did you sacrifice working in your business? Because either you had COVID or you had COVID symptoms, everyone had COVID symptoms, or COVID-19 related illness, were told that you were quarantined. How many times did you go to your office, even if you were self-employed, where you turned in your business, or you cut hair, or you did whatever it is you did when you went to that office, and they said, hey, you can't come in. You've been told to quarantine. Well, all you got to do is document 10 of those days. Most of you were probably quarantined for many more days. Here's another question. What did you sacrifice working in your business when you cared for someone else? So did any of your kids have symptoms or have to stay home because of COVID? Or maybe, and they were told to quarantine. I'm going to go through all the questions quickly because it's not important that you remember them because you're all going to actually submit and read the questions on your own. But, the next one is, were you told to quarantine or you were exposed? What dates did that happen because you were, caring for somebody? Specifically, it's talking about spouse, elder, or other people. This one is talking about underage minors. So if you didn't have kids, that question won't apply. But if you do have kids, then you're going to get more money back. So people who have kids are going to get more than those that don't. What dates did you sacrifice because this is, talking about daycare. Daycare was closed down. So because there was no daycare, you couldn't go to school because you had to take care of your kids. What dates did you sacrifice working your business because you were told to quarantine because someone else was exposed? I got that phone call, and my supervisor manager said, hey, don't come in. One of our employees was exposed. Okay, so everyone's got to go home. So we have an incredible agency partner program that if you literally, were to market this program and you went out and told a lot of people about this, You only have to have 15. If 15 people see this, that's qualification one, and the other is 5 million. So you can use combination of ERC credits. And by the way, some of the people who you contact, you're going to find out that they also own a business or that they didn't actually submit ERC. So you're going to get ERC applications when you start talking about this program. And so you're going to see a lot of volume come in. The commissions are pretty high. We've seen some people generate over $1 million in commissions in less than 6 months just because they were submitting, businesses that had large rebates. So when you're getting, a percentage, even if it's only, 5% of a huge number, like $1 million number, that really adds up. But where I think you're going to see more money on this program than ERC is because the sheer volume of numbers. So let me explain. I think I mentioned that the average was 87,000. So there's 15 million self-employed people with an average of 87,000. But that does not include the 2.4 million real estate agents, does not include the, many hundreds of thousands of home service sales agents, the hundreds of thousands of solar agents. I don't know how many people there are cut hair, but it's probably, I'll bet it's closer to 500,000. So all of those are in many cases, and the network marketing professionals. If you had to guess how many network marketing professionals, would you guess that it's more than real estate agents? Would you guess it's more than, insurance agents? Would you guess it's more than solar agents? It's more than all of those combined times 2. Network marketing industry is 40 million individuals, and they're all self-employed, every single one of them. So there's no person on this call that doesn't know 100 self-employed people. Everybody does. And whether they made $5,000 last year with their self-employed business or whether they made $500,000, they will appreciate being introduced to this program because it's this program that can potentially get them $32,000 back. And the next question they're going to ask is, can I make money if I share this with someone else? And your answer is, of course you can. And here's how you do it. You basically sign up with our company, and then you start talking to all the people. Now, our fee is pretty high. It's free. There's no cost to be a part of Tax Prep Advocates, and you can be trained in literally a day, and you can refer other people. Not a day, in about 5 minutes you can learn this. That's an exaggeration. If you watch my presentation right now, which is only 30 minutes, you are 100% qualified to refer a link. We don't want you to train. We don't want you to explain it. The last thing we want you to do is explain it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a role play right now. And I'm going to give an example of how you could make $12,000 today. Okay, now you're not going to get paid today, but you'll have basically banked it. So today, here's your assignment. You need to go get a haircut, okay? Now, if you've already gotten your haircut yesterday, I don't think they paid you $12,000 to get your haircut. So today, you're going to get paid $12,000 to go get your haircut. Here's how you do it. You sit down, you say, wow, COVID was rough, for me. How was it for you being, a hair salon? Were you able to work during COVID? You already know the answer, but you're asking the question anyways because you're a smart marketing genius. And they go, oh, man, I couldn't work. I couldn't come in. They wouldn't allow me. They shut us down. Oh, my gosh, that had to hurt your income. Oh, my gosh, I don't even know how we survived. I had to borrow money from family. I had to, it was terrible. Oh, gosh, I feel so bad for you. Well, at least you got the $32,000 from the COVID Relief Family Sick Leave Act for self-employed people. Thank goodness for that. And they're going to be like, what? What do you mean 32,000? Well, the 32,000, the Family, Leave Act. I mean, of course your CPA told you, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? I didn't get 32,000. You're kidding me. You got to act surprised. You're kidding me. Your CPA did not tell you that there was a $32,000 of available COVID money for people who are affected? I mean, I can't even believe that. I would think that, haircutters were affected more than anybody. And they'll go, you bet we were. And say, well, I'm going to help you out today. When we're done getting my haircut, I'm going to give you a link to a company, and you can go ahead and just answer a few questions. It's going to take you 5 minutes, and it's going to tell you exactly how much you didn't get, and it's going to allow you to get it now. Are you interested in getting that link? And they're going to go, they're going to say the haircut's over. Let's get the link. Let's apply. Okay. You're going to walk out of there with a terrible haircut because they're going to be like, wait a second, I'm getting 32,000. Forget the haircut. Show me the link. Okay. And you're going to pull out your phone and you're going to go, here it is. What's your cell phone? I'm going to text it to you. Or what's your email? I'm going to email it to you. And you're done. You literally do not have to work anymore that day because you made a very healthy sell. But, it was only a couple $1,000s. I mean, let's go big here. So the next question you're going to ask is you're going to say, what's the name of your owner of this shop? And they're going to say, oh, Carol. So how many self-employed people work here? I'll go, oh, there's 12 people that rent, chairs here. And I'm going to go, wow, 12 people? So do you think they'd be interested in getting the 32,000? And say, of course they are. Well, why don't you give me her number? Because I'm going to call her. Or, well, she's right there. She's sitting next to us. And then you're going to talk to the owner. And you're going to say, Mr. Owner, Mr. or Mrs. Owner, how about if I go ahead and help you get your workers some money back from the IRS? And how about if I set you up with a healthy commission for making that introduction? So in my model here, you're at the 6% commission level, and you are, an agency partner, and you're letting the manager get 2%, and you're getting 4%. And you made $12,000 for getting your haircut today. So that's the kind of potential that we have with this program. Now, if you just want to make all the money yourself and you don't want to talk to the owner, well, fine. It's a free country. You choose to market any way you want. As long as you use approved marketing materials, you can share this any way you choose. So now you make, let's say you're at 4% because we pay 2 to 5% depending on how much volume. And by the way, don't cry if you're at 2%. Go work and go get promoted tomorrow. Go talk to 10 people, get promoted. Go talk to another 10 people the next day. Within days, you could be an agency partner at the highest comp. The only thing that holds you back is your ability to talk to people. And actually, I should take that away because we don't require talking. We actually prefer you don't talk. Your success will be much higher. The more you talk, the more you potentially will talk them out of it. So, if you're at a haircut, yeah, talking's good. But if you don't have time to get your haircut, take out your phone and just text them the link that you get when you join our firm. And that texting is the way to make money. You're going to make more money texting than any business you're ever going to do because you're texting them a link to get $32,000 back. So let's review here. Home sales, people who sell door to door. Well, there's probably an owner of 20 salespeople. Talk to him. Walk into any real estate office in America. The average has 40 real estate agents. Talk to the owner. You got access to 40. You don't want to talk, just grab all the business cards. You walk in, they say, can you help you? Say, no, I just want to get these business cards here. I'm going to grab each one. Well, why do you need all the business cards? Because I have something I want to share with all of them about how they can take advantage of a tax credit that they're not aware of. That assistant's going to be like, can you get it for me? And she's going to let you take all the business cards, go home, text every single real estate agent on their phone and text them the link saying, hey, how would you like to qualify for the $32,000 family sick leave for COVID stimulus? They're either going to watch it or call you back, but you're going to do business. That's not big enough for you? Then call your friend's son who's been selling solar for the last 2 years, making $100,000 a year, and ask him for the name of the owner of the solar company. Because he's been employing 100 salespeople for the last 3 years. And guess what? They couldn't door knock during COVID. Some of them did it anyways, but they weren't supposed to, and they were definitely affected. So how about going ahead and talking to that guy? And how about making an extra $1 million? Is it possible? Is this real? Is it possible that you could actually generate $1 million in commissions from talking to one person? Well, only person who will know that is the person who tries. Okay. And I know people who are doing it right now. So if you talk to somebody that, has 1,000 people, how about the owner of an insurance agency? They have 1,000 people, so there's a lot of people that you can go to. Now, if you want to think big, then go after the network marketing industry, the multi-level marketing industry, because every CEO of that company has employed anywhere from 10,000 to 10 million independent contractors. The large ones are 10 million, the small ones are 10,000, but the median is 250,000. So if you can get a client that has 250,000, they're probably not all going to get the maximum. but you're going to be you're going to be very surprised. That network marketer who only made $5,000 selling his favorite health drink, he's also a real estate agent. He's also an insurance agent. He also owns his own business. He's also self-employed, and he's going to be like, wow, I'm going to do this for both of them. So I just want to share with you that this is probably the best day of your life, because today you're going to get this link. And this link is going to unlock some potential income to you. But that's not the great news. This is going to open up your mind and your thinking to actually do something before everyone else does it. And let the world know that, hey, you're self-employed, you didn't get this. You might have to clear your deck a little bit. If you play golf every Friday, maybe play 9 holes instead of 18. Because those extra 4 hours a week that you spend texting people could actually change your life financially forever, based upon some of the scenarios that I've showed you. Now, we don't guarantee any income. It's all based upon the activity. But this is the first business that I've ever seen that your income is 100% based on numbers. How many people do you talk to is going to determine how much income you're going to make. The law of averages will always work out. So if you talk to 3 people, it's possible you'll make 0. If you talk to 30 people, you're going to make some money. If you talk to 300, you're going to make a lot. If you talk to 3,000, oh, by the way, no talking. Takes too long, too inefficient. Just text or email. That's the best method of communication. Now, if they're interested, they'll call you back. But they don't need to call you back because they've got the link and they've got everything they need to be successful. So let me give you some updates. If you applied for this yesterday, you received your engagement letter, and your engagement letter was emailed to you, and you filled out that engagement letter, and you probably got a link to get the questions, and you've probably started reviewing them, and that's great. We wanted to give you a chance to start reviewing the questions, but we're not asking you to complete those questions because we're actually still finishing the turnkey process. The turnkey process allows us to instantaneously give you your number. It allows us to print out the 7202 document that the IRS needs, and it allows us to be electronically sent to you immediately so you can go file your taxes that day. And that's when you'll receive the IRS is, 8 to 14 weeks, depending on how long it takes them to process it. This doesn't go on the ERC pile that's stacked up right now. This goes through the standard amending of your personal taxes. So when you get these taxes done, they're going to send you back a check, and then you're going to owe the money here. So what's exciting about this is that it's very fast and it's very efficient. Now, you do have the option to go back to your CPA. You know which CPA I'm talking about, the one that cost you $32,000 over the last 2 years, the one that didn't tell you about this program because they didn't read the IRS guidelines that come out that they get as a CPA, that they're supposed to read. They didn't actually take the time to calculate it because they were busy and they're just trying to get their work done. That CPA. I wouldn't go back to that CPA. I had terminated my CPA. I'm not going back to my CPA. This cost me a lot of money, not him knowing about it, not being on top of it. So, I use Tax Prep Advocate CPA. I use the CPA that actually showed me the program. And I'm like, of course I'm going to use you. And the fee is only $395. That's $197 for each year that they'll amend your tax returns. And guess what? It'll be done correctly, and you'll know that. What happens if you send this to somebody and it's not done correct? What happens if you don't fill it out, the forms correctly? Well, it goes into the black hole at the IRS saying, hey, this one's not correct. They're not going to process it. They're going to wait until they're not busy, and then they'll eventually reach out with an email and say, hey, this isn't correct. We're not processing it. They're not going to tell you how to reprocess it. That's why you have to have a CPA that knows. So I would encourage you to use the CPA that's going to tell you about it, and it's only $395. You can pay that the day that you receive your 7202. There will be a link for you to pay by debit card or credit card. If you choose not to do that, it's 100% your choice. You can take that document that you got called the 7202 that's completely filled out, and you can take it to your current CPA and file it. So there's no cost to do this, but you must file. And if you file with us, it's a very inexpensive, one of the lowest costs for doing it correctly. So we're very proud and appreciative of our CPA who made that commitment to our clients. But because this is automated, and it's systematic, we can handle as many files as we can get. And we want to beat the competition. We want to be the fastest, the most effective, and the most efficient. That's why we pay the highest commissions. That's why we spend a lot of money in technology. That's why we do everything in our power to put our clients in a position to win, to put our agents in a position to win, and really to create agency partners that can leave a legacy. Are we going out of business after the self-employed sick and family leave is over? Heavens no. There will be programs and resources that businesses will own forever. And not only are we not going out of business, we'll be the premier tax education program. And you know who will be educating? Not just business owners, not just self-employed individuals, but we will also be educating the CPAs. We're not at war with the CPAs. We do so much business with CPAs. More files come from CPAs than any other source. We are the resource to CPAs. Guess who's the first person you should introduce this to? Your CPA, after you file, of course. So after you file with our CPA, then call your CPA and say, hey, you didn't tell me about this, but I'm telling you so you can tell everybody else. And they're going to go, wait a second. All I got to do is send an email to all of my clients, and then they're going to come back and refile with me? Yes, you're going to get more business, and they're going to get more income. So how many clients do they have? Well, 500. Do you have any idea how much money you're going to make recruiting your CPA to this program? But I will promise you this, some of you will go to your CPA, but because you're trying to learn everything about it, because you want to look smart, you want to be educated, you'll call your CPA in 7 days and you'll say, hey, I want to tell you something's really going to help you. I really researched it and I know it's the right thing. And I've done all the research on tax prep advocates, and they want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. Aren't you happy I told you? And they're going to go, well, I got 3 emails last week already. I've already signed up for tax prep advocates. Are you kidding me? This thing's incredible. So you're telling me you knew about it last week and you didn't call me? Well, I wanted to do some research. I wanted to make sure it was the best thing. Well, that research that you did cost you a lot of money. So I'm making these illustrations because I've spent 35 years in this industry. I've built teams in the insurance industry of 10,000. I've built teams in the technology industry of 10,000. And, you know, I know how this works. The person who contacts the person with the best idea first gets compensated. So we're not looking for salespeople. We don't need them. We're not looking for, you know, educated people with PhD degrees. We don't need them. But if you have a PhD and you are a salesperson, then that's going to make you even stronger unless you procrastinate. Procrastinate is going to crush you in this industry because there's somebody else that's not going to procrastinate. So this is your opportunity to help a lot of people and to build a great income. And I know I spent a little bit too much time on that, but I just don't want you to miss your time. I don't want you to miss your opportunity. So Mike, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I appreciate you letting me take a little bit of time on this. And I know you've got so many of your great people on this call, and I know you want to give them a chance to answer some questions. But before we do, would you please share your enthusiasm? I mean, you are a guy that's been a master. You were my mentor. You literally taught me so much. And the first year I was married with my wife, working with you and learning the insurance industry. And then you and I went out and changed so many people's lives together. And now today we get to change lives in a bigger way. And you, for the last year, you've built an army of people that are passionate about this. How do you feel about this program? I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Wow. Thank you, James. James, that was incredible. I mean, as we've been doing this every day this week, and every day, you get better and more articulate on this amazing subject, which is kind of new to all of us, but it's pretty incredible simply because we all know so many people who are self-employed, right? It's such a big market. And who wouldn't want whether it's 10 grand, 20 grand, or 32 grand, who doesn't want this money that's due and available to them who's self-employed? 100% of the people. And you have to just be affected by 10 days each year in one way or another. And all of us, can remember 2 weeks to slow the spread. There's no way, I can think of a person who wasn't affected in one way or another for 10 days each year, okay, with COVID, could have been even helping a family member. But I'll tell you what, so the majority of people will qualify. I mean, overwhelming, right? Pretty much almost everyone was affected in one way or another, right? And so they can get, depending on how much they earn, they can get up to 32 grand. But so let's say they get 15 grand or 25 grand or 8 grand. I mean, if you got that today, hey, 18 grand's 18 grand, whatever they qualify for, they'll take advantage of it. We get paid, we charge a 20% contingency fee. So let's say it's 30 grand. Their contingency fee, they pay 6 grand. Okay. Now you get paid your percentage of the 30 grand, your percentage. Let's just take 4 and as an example. Let's say you're in a 4% contract. So if they get $30,000, your 4% is actually of the $30,000. Okay, so it's 300. 1% would be $300. So you would make $1,200 each time you help somebody get $30,000. So let's say you went to that hair salon like James spoke about that and helped 10 stylists there. And just to be easy on me with the math, we'll say they all get 30 grand. Okay, they wouldn't, but they would get different amounts. But ultimately, that would mean 12, times 10 is 120 grand. Wait, no, 1,200. It's 12 grand, right? Like the slide showed. And so you're going to get so many referrals. Now you can offer to help, pay a referral. You can offer to recruit. It's up to you how you want to run your business. But ultimately, our commission is based on the contingency fee. We, at no cost to them, we give them the documentation they need to find out how much they're going to get. And then they have to file the documentation we give them with their 2 amended tax returns. So the 2 amended tax returns, they can do themselves. That's up to them. They can take it back to their people, which we don't recommend, but they could. Okay. And their people will charge them whatever they charge them, whoever did their taxes. Or they can go to our CPA and he charges them to file an amended return for a self-employed person, $197. Okay, and so times 2. We don't get a commission on the tax return. Okay, we get a commission on the amount 20% of the refund, or we get basically on the amount of the refund. Okay, the charge is 20%. You'll get 4%, not of 20, but 4% of the gross, right? And so $1,200 out of the 6,000, and it's a range, right? You can get up to 7% of that if you work your way up to agency partner. And so ultimately, James is right. We were pretty amazed by ERC and the kind of money people are making. I've never seen people making money like they're making with ERC. And ERC is an amazing, opportunity for all of us. But most of us come with an entrepreneurial, background. Many of us are in those, different backgrounds that James described: realtors, mortgage professionals, insurance professionals, and the like. And so we know personally hundreds of self-employed people, if not thousands, if you think about it. Now, if you go to somebody, let's just say the largest Century 21 office in your city, that might be more profitable than getting your hair cut. Okay, and so why do you think the broker, let's just say the office has 50 realtors, do you think the broker would be opposed to helping all their agents get up to 32 grand? Of course they wouldn't be opposed to that. Would they be opposed to you, speaking at their next meeting? No, they wouldn't. Right? Don't you think everybody would want their people to take advantage of this? Let's just say you got to give a talk at the local. I'm trying to think of that one real estate company where they emphasize recruiting. A lot of real estate companies emphasize recruiting, right? But let's just say you get Keller Williams. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. I've been invited to speak before at a Keller Williams meeting that had like 75 agents in La Mesa. Okay, so let's say you get invited to the Keller Williams office and you get to give the little talk like James gave. But I made a presentation, you guys, just for clients on this, okay? You probably want that, okay? And so I called it SETC client, okay? Now, let's just say I'm at the Keller Williams office. There's 75 agents, and I go through this presentation, and I show them the whole self-employed opportunity and how they can sign up right now and why they weren't told by their CPA to do this in the first place, and why we have an incredible CPA firm that's going to, do all the calculations for you. We can file your amended returns if you like. We kind of recommend that, but it's up to you. You can do it yourself, take it to your own tax professional. We have an amazing person behind the scenes that will do it for you here, who's actually calculating all the numbers. And then what I just want you to think, of those 75 people, what percentage do you think would take advantage of it? I'll tell you what I think, what I know. I'm sure it'd be 100, right? 100% of them. And even if you didn't try to recruit them, which, I don't know if I would or not, probably not if the broker didn't want me to, right? I guarantee they'd be like, hey, Mike, can I refer people to do this and get paid? Yeah. What do you make? I make, you make like $1,000 to $1,500, depending on for each one. Yeah, for each one. You're freaking kidding me. No, I'm not kidding. Not kidding. I know 100 people I know 1,000 people who do. Okay, I'll give you, it's a different link. I'll send you a different link and you can sign up. Okay. And so this is my client ERC, okay, which are SETC. I get the acronyms. And by the way, it's not officially, it's not called the SETC. Like, ERC is not really ERC, by the way. It's the Employee Retention Tax Credit, which would be ERTC, right? And so this it happens to be a tax credit for the self-employed. By the way, there's such a thing as a tax credit where it just goes against taxes you owe, like R&D tax credits go against money you owe. This is not just a standard tax credit. This is just like ERC. This is a refundable tax credit. What does that mean, Mike? That means they mail you a check. Okay, that means the IRS mails you a check for 32 grand if you don't owe taxes. But let's say you do owe, you're behind on last year's taxes, you sent in half the money and you're making payments on 5 grand or whatever, you owe taxes, okay? So if you owe 5 grand and you qualify for 25 grand, what do you think your check's gonna be? That's right, okay? Your check's gonna be 20 grand. And you're still gonna owe 20% contingency fee of the 25 because it did you a favor, pay off the one person in this country you don't want to owe money to, which is the IRS, which can just reach right in your bank account, right? And so everybody wants to pay them off, right, before they take it from you. And so it's a great, it's a good thing for them too, right? Now they're at zero, it makes everybody sleep better at night. So and many people haven't filed 2019, 2020, or 2021, or all 3 or 2, right? That's okay. Actually, you know what? People who did an extension get 3 years from the time they filed. So the people who did an extension have more time to do this. But James is right. It's whether they're going to run out of money or not, that, urgency is the key for you, me, and them. Okay. Urgency is a good thing, and it could, but they get 3 years from when they file. But if they haven't filed at all, and you'll be surprised, a lot of people haven't, okay, that's okay. We'll incorporate it in their tax. They don't have, the people who haven't filed do not have to do an amended return. They have to do a return, okay? And we can do that for them at a different, it's not 197, depends on their circumstances, but it'll be whatever it is. And then that'll include, right? That they'll just do it right the first time, which their CPA didn't do. So you guys, nobody's done this already, right? It's so wide open. So this is actually called FFCRA. What does that stand for? Families First Coronavirus Response Act. FFCRA. See that? Family First Coronavirus Response Act. And it's a federal law, public number, blah, 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 blah. And the FRC is the only government program that puts cash back into the hands of the self-employed. It's not a loan. It is a refund of the taxes you already paid. It's beautiful. And so, you guys, there's so many groups we could speak. I think every real estate, I'm just thinking, how do you hit groups? James mentioned the network marketing industry. You guys, if you have a person who has like 20,000 people in their downline, okay, they can just push out an email. They're probably going to want to be cut in on it, okay, which you ought to be not greedy on this deal, right? Figure out how to make that work. But 20,000. Okay, so you guys, the opportunity here is unlimited. I think, James, that was like the best presentation I've seen yet. And I see everybody asking for a recording, and sign me up on that list too, you guys. I want that recording. And so we can do these, presentations for groups. I'll teach you how to do it to the salon or to the local real estate op. By the way, I'm an insurance agent. A lot of you guys are too, right? Hey, every insurance agency, big or small or gigantic, would want who wouldn't want your people to get do you want everybody who's in TPA to get a $20,000 check or $30,000 check or $10,000 check? I do. I want every one of you to get this money too. It's a good thing. I love it. Anyone who comes to work with us, we offer a bonus up front, which is the FFCRA. What's that? They can get up to 32,000 just for, when they come on board, and we pay them, and they can earn their commission on themselves, right? You can, however you want to do that, right? But ultimately, everybody should want, unless they're evil, okay, all their people and everyone they know to get this money. Everybody. It's 100%. By the way, do you think the IRS would audit? Let me just ask you this. Do you think they would audit you? Here's what the CPA said. It was really interesting to hear. Do you think they would challenge you on the 10 days? Were you really affected?
They want you to take them.
Do you think you were really affected? Because, by the way, you don't have to have gone to the doctor. It doesn't have to be you. You don't have to have a prescription. You don't have to have a note from your employer, okay? So there's no way, it's just highly, improbable that they would challenge that you were affected during a year for 10 days. Okay, and so by COVID, everyone was. The first year we were all 14 days. It's crazy. So I just wanted to tell you guys, I'm excited. I know you're excited. James, you want to do it again tomorrow?
Well, yeah, but I want to show where the link is. So let me show this right now.
Okay, great.
I'm going to show this because a lot of people are asking. I just read all the questions in the chat, so I want to answer them. So, Mike, are you seeing my screen right now?
I am.
Okay. So this is the Dreams Business Resources back office. You're probably familiar where it talks about all the different products we have and the ERC. But one of the things that most people don't look at is right here, something called Quick Links. And Quick Links has things that are, relevant or new, and they have a lot of different stuff. Now, I just put the self-employed credit link right here. So if anyone wants to share this with anyone this entire weekend, they want to get someone signed up, I'm giving you the ability to do it. You click right here, and it opens up the link. There it is, okay? So now you see the link, and all you do is you put your name, your email, your phone number, and your agent code number. Now, a lot of you guys have, zeros. Use zeros, not O's, and then that'll make sure it gets credited back to you. So use your exact code number. This
James,
will allow you to sign up.
Go back one.
Go
back one, because was there ERC on the left and this on the right? Was that what it was?
No, this is just basically only for, I don't think this is live yet. This is just your link right here. This is our pre-beta link. And so you're going to fill this out, and it's going to get you your ability to sign up this weekend. This is a temporary site. We're going to end this, but it does have the picture of our CPA, Stephen Brewer, Jeremy Miner, Jason Barnes, Kent Doherty. So it's just a short little thing for you as part of our pre-launch to get this. We're also going to put it in the chat. I'm going to do it right now. So if you want to get the link and you want to sign up today, I'm going to try and put it in.
Is it just for reps, James? It's just for reps this weekend. Is that correct?
Well, here's the deal. If you want to sign up somebody, have them watch our video. So I'll put the video in there. And the only reason why it works right now if you're a rep, because we track it by your rep. So we would like you to, if you want to sign someone up this weekend, sign them up and then send them this link. and then they can sign up for themselves. Okay. And so, next week we'll have a full presentation, but this week, if you want to send it to somebody, go ahead and have them watch this video. So Jeremy, let's end this recording right now, and I will make sure that we take this recording and we'll put it in your back office under the quick links. So if you want to send this to other people, today's recording, you can do that.